Okay, this is going to be a really fast demonstration. Got something I just got to say. I'm sorry. When I see stuff, people not doing things properly, not doing things right, that could end up getting somebody hurt in the process, I have to speak my mind, and I usually don't do this too much. Alright, so anyway, saw a demonstration on how to paint a projection screen with a paint sprayer. Well, let me explain to you a few things. Now, I've been using paint sprayers for years, and I mean for years. I've got a few over here that I bought. I own a few Wagners, I own a few high-powered, expensive paint sprayers, and I'm going to tell you something right from the door. Number one, you do not want to be standing that close in front of a screen when you're spraying it. You should at least be a foot away from it. I tell you why, because there's so much paint that will come out of this compressor right here that will hit your screen and cause a splatter all over the place. Number two, drips and any kind of imperfection in the screen will follow behind that. On top of that, you're breathing this in. So you should have some kind of protective gear to cover your nose because you don't want to breathe this stuff in. You do not want to spray this in your house. Now, we have a kit called a Sheen kit. It comes with a paint sprayer. The paint sprayer we chose for that was a Wagner 150. The reason why, because the 150 doesn't disperse a lot of paint. It has a very low-powered compressor in the back. It's good. It's a good compressor, but it's not as powerful as these big boys are, and it's not going to disperse that much paint all over the place. But I still advise you, if you're going to paint that screen, do it outside in a well ventilated area. Do not do this inside your home. There's going to be residue that's going to come off of this and spray everywhere, and I mean everywhere. As you can see, even though I'm spraying here, my screen is covered here because this is just a paint screen. I don't care about this, but just to keep it over here because I don't want the residue spraying all over the place. You're talking about tiny particles of liquid just spraying all over the place. On top of that, it causes a bit of a dust cloud, which means that when the paint settles, the mist in the air, it will actually land on everything and cause this kind of ashy kind of look to your furniture because you're spraying those fumes all over the place. These things are not meant to be used and inside your you're meant to be used inside of your home, but if you're using this in an area where you're mostly, when I see demonstrations using a Wagner, everything is taped off, everything is plastic off because they know that paint particles can basically land anywhere in the environment. So that particular area where this is being used is closed off, or things are covered and protective, but you don't use this in your environment that close. Now, the demonstration I saw, the person literally had the paint sprayer this close to the screen and he was moving back and forth. The problem you have here is, like I said, a lot of paint disperses from these bad boys. Now, what they didn't show you was right here on the side of that, as you can see, I got a lot of wear and tear. I've used this quite a bit. There's a nozzle right here that controls how much paint squeezes through this bad boy. It kind of allows you to be able to, when you pull, not that much paint would actually disperse through that cannon. Over here, that little red lever right there, that allows you to do wide spray, a narrow spray, and a wide spray, and then you have the compressor in the back. Now, most of them will have like a high and a low. The more advanced models will have different options on different surfaces that you can paint. Now, the reason why we went with the 150, because the 150 is very easy to use. It's a stain sprayer. It sprays out very fine amount of liquid or formula, and it won't basically cause a screen or drip or have any problems. As long as you stand a foot away from the screen, you do not want to stand that close. I also advise to wear some kind of eyewear because depending on the size of the screen you're painting, so you're doing a screen this big and you have to bring that sprayer up, you're going to have some fluid coming at you in your face. Now, as I said before, one of the other things too is very important, well ventilated area. You don't want to be using this in a cramped, confined area. As you can see, I got a lot of room in here to work, but even though I come over here, open up the door, let some air in. See what I'm talking about? So you have to have a well ventilated area. You can't be using those sprayers. Now, on top of that, another thing wasn't pointed out in that demonstration is you have to be to take this thing apart and you have to be to clean it. Because if you don't, what happens is the nozzle here and here can sometimes get paint particles in there, and when you go to spray, it will spit huge clumps of paint all over your screen. Also, too, very important to clean out the inside of the cup, because if you don't, any residue in there will actually land on your screen. Now, coming over here real quick, going to put on my mask right here, which is very important. Always wear protective gear when you're doing this. All right? Very important. Wear your protective gear, because if you breathe this stuff in, it can make you sick. You don't know what you're working with, so you must wear protective gear. Now I'm going to show you how much paint is going to come out when I hit this cannon. You want to be a foot away when you're doing it. And you want to go back and forth, side to side. Side to side motion. And that's pretty much it right there. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed this video demonstration. I'd like to thank you all for watching. Just the do's and don'ts, just properly how it's done right. Alright, thank you all.